going to start with a slip knot, and I am going to use a 4.0 millimeter crochet hook for this. The Waffle Stitch tends to naturally look a little on the loose side, so depending on what you are making, I would suggest going down a size, just because otherwise it may be very loose and kind of airy. So I'm going to do my foundation chain in 38, but you could do any number you want, but it needs to be in multiples of 3 plus 2. Okay, I've got 38 chains, and the first row is going to be a double crochet in every stitch across. So in the third chain from the hook, we're going to start a double crochet, and I'm going to work in the back bump. I usually work in the back bump of a foundation chain because it makes it not stretch out as much. And if you want to put a stitch marker there, you can. Just so you know it's your first stitch. And continue to work a double crochet in every stitch all the way to the end of the row. That's the end of row 1. I'm going to move my tail to the top of the row. So for row 2, we turn, chain 2, put a double crochet in the first stitch, then you're going to put a front post double crochet in the next stitch for the first one, and then this is the post for the second stitch. So front post double crochet, yarn over, go behind the stitch, yarn over, pull through, pull up just a little bit, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. It's like a regular double crochet, but instead of inserting your hook into that area after you do the yarn over, you just put it behind the post. And then we will do a double crochet in 2 more stitches. So when you look at the back, this stitch right here is where we used the post, so we're not going to go there. So our next double crochet is going to be in that stitch. And then one more double crochet. And then the next stitch is going to be another front post double crochet. So here's our front post double crochet here. We skip this one and this one because that's where we have these 2. So then we go into that third one. 2 more double crochet stitches. And a front post, and you keep repeating that all the way till you get to the end. You're going to end your row with 1 double crochet, but I'll show you when I get to the end how I do that. Just make sure that you're only skipping 1 loop in the back. Okay, I'm getting down towards the end. So I've got the 2 double crochets here. I'm going to do the front post. Okay, I should have 1 stitch left. And the 1 stitch that is left should be the one with the stitch marker in it. So if you look back here, you can see that this is the one that we're skipping only because we used the post instead. So that's our last stitch. So instead of going into the normal 2 loops that you do for a stitch, there should be a chain 2 space at where the beginning of the foundation chain, where we skipped 2 and started in the 3rd chain from the hook. So that left a chain 2 space. So that is where the last double crochet is going to go. And you're going to do that for every row that you do, that you end in your double crochets. So now we will turn our work. That is the end of row 2. I'm going to turn our work. I'm going to chain 2 and put a double crochet in the first 2 stitches. And if you want to put a stitch marker in that first stitch, that might be helpful. And then we will do a front post double crochet in the next 2. And if you look across here, you can see where there are groups of 2 that is where our front post are going to go, and it's where the 2 stitches that we did regular double crochets on the other side, it's where those are, because by putting that front post double crochet here, it made these 2 kind of look like they are sort of popped backwards. So when you're coming on this side, you can see all of the ones that we did a front post. Now on this side looks like it's kind of sunken down. So to keep all of our front post ridges lined up, when you turn, you need to put a front post double crochet in the places where the previous row had a regular double crochet. After you do the 2 double crochets, in front post, 2 front post double crochets, you will do 1 regular double crochet, and that will coordinate with the 1 front post that is in the previous row. Now do 2 front post, and then 1 regular double crochet, and repeat that to the end, and you will end your row with 2 regular double crochets, because that's what you started with. Okay, I'm at the end, and I will end this row with 2 double crochets. So after you do the first double crochet, just like we did in the previous row, the last double crochet is going to go in the space made by your chain 2. That is the end of row 3. Now you are going to start repeating. So the waffle stitch is simply a repeat of rows 2 and 3. And that's what gives it that look, because you are alternating, and each time you turn you are changing the amount of front post double crochets that you do, because sometimes you need to do 2 together to make it look like it is bumped back here, and then sometimes you need to do 1 every other row. So just keep repeating rows 2 and 3, and remember to put the last double crochet in every row in your chain 2 space, and each row begins with a chain 2. When I get the project to be about the size that I want, which this is just going to be a dishcloth, this pattern, you need to sort of shape it a little bit, because it'll have a wonky shape to it from the way you have to hold it and the way the front post stitch gets pulled. So just kind of pull on the edges, shape it a little bit, and then you can iron it to sort of set that in if you really want it to look straight, you know, like if you're giving it as a gift or something like. So because the beginning of the project has this look to it right here, when I get to the end of the row, instead of just ending like this, I'm gonna make 1 row of single crochets, just so that it kind of looks like it has a finished edge to it. So I'm gonna turn and chain 1, and just do a single crochet in every stitch. Okay, when you get that done, cut a tail and tie it off and weave in your end. Okay, so down here you can see this little tail sticking through. This is where I weaved in my tail from the start. Going to get a crochet hook. So you can see where this is the first row that we did, and this is the end where I ended the project with a single crochet. So it's kind of similar. It's not exactly the same, but it looks pretty close to, so anything you're making, if you're making a blanket, a scarf, or anything like that, I would end with a single crochet.